On this episode of the Oregon National Guard Quarterly Review, we'll take you to Camp Rylea for search and rescue training and show you how the Oregon National Guard honored a community after tragedy. Hello and welcome to the Winter 2016 Quarterly Review. I'm Technical Sergeant Stephen Conklin. The Oregon Office of Emergency Management works to ensure that the state of Oregon is prepared for when disaster strikes. In Clatsop County, they got to tour with Governor Kate Brown to show her how they do just that. Hours after an earthquake struck Clatsop County, Oregon Governor Kate Brown was there.
Well, I think that was a little wake-up call. The jolt was a wake-up call for us to take every moment that we can to work at preparedness, not just on the coast, but throughout the entire state of Oregon.
But that little 3.6 near the mouth of the Columbia River was just a coincidence. The governor's office had already planned this trip, along with local leaders, emergency managers, and the Oregon Office of Emergency Management, or OEM, in an effort to showcase Clatsop County's seismic resilience and the importance of preparedness.
So we spent a little bit of time today with Governor Brown and folks at Clatsop Community College talking about some of the things we're doing at the state level and also at the local level in terms of community preparedness and trying to get the message of preparedness out to the folks that we try to serve here in Oregon.
Clatsop County, in the northwest corner of Oregon, is especially susceptible to a tsunami that would be triggered by a Cascadia subduction zone earthquake. And on Camp Rylea in Warrenton, Oregon, the governor got to learn how OEM plans to respond.
The National Guard is a huge support structure for the state during a disaster, regardless of whether it's an earthquake or a fire or a flood. The capability and the resources that can be brought to bear through the National Guard are tremendous and really unmatched in this state. They become huge assets during just about any emergency.
While the small earthquake was a wake-up call for some, OEM showed it's what they prepare for every day. For the Oregon Military Department, I'm Technical Sergeant Stephen Conklin. The 173rd Fighter Wing in Klamath Falls recently gathered airmen and their families to enjoy a day of fun in fighter jets.
Airmen from Kingsley Field had the chance to invite their family members out to the base for the annual Family Day celebration during the October drill weekend. Instead of the clang of wrenches and rumbles of generators, giggles and squeals of joy filled the aircraft hangar for that afternoon. Every year, a group of volunteers put together this event that offers a chance for airmen and their families to spend part of the afternoon in camaraderie and fun.
The best thing that we can have is happy kids and happy families come out here and just enjoy where we work. And for them to come out here and see this, it's just, it makes everything go so smooth. Because you know the end goal is that right there, to make our kids happy.
A life-size foosball game and archery range drew the attention of many of the older children, while the bounce house and the miniature ponies appealed to the pint-sized youngsters. However, there was one offering that seized the attention of almost all who attended.
What is your favorite thing?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy. What color did you get?
I got blue.
What's been your favorite thing?
Getting cotton candy.
Like the pink cotton candy? You look like a kitty cat. Can you meow for me?
Meow.
Even some of the parents agreed the cotton candy was the best. Reporting for the 173rd Fighter Wing, I'm Master Sergeant Jennifer Shira.
A year after the tragedy at Umpqua Community College, Oregon National Guardsmen gathered together with the Roseburg community in honor of those who died.
On the one-year anniversary of the tragic shooting at Umpqua Community College, the Roseburg community gathered together for a memorial run at Stewart Park. The run was organized to honor the lives of the 9 victims and to support the families still grieving the devastation of October 1st, 2015. The Roseburg National Guard Unit, Charlie Company 1 of the 186, had been greatly affected by the shooting. After returning from an Afghanistan deployment in July 2015, 11 soldiers were attending UCC, with 6 actually on campus at the time of the shooting. Specialist Christopher Jewell describes why he feels it was so important for Charlie Company to be present and supportive at the run.
It means absolutely everything to be able to do this ruck this 9K together. Felt fantastic. When we deployed, we came home, this community showed us nothing but love, and we'd like to give back to the community a little bit.
Sergeant First Class Frank Rademacher explains why Charlie Company goes the extra mile in supporting their community.
You know, we have to put our faces out there saying, hey, we support this community, we are here. You know, and if we don't, you know, we're just a National Guard unit that's here in Roseburg, but we want to be more than that.
And the unit's support was felt. Community member Greg Hovack honored victim Trevin Anspaugh's family by carrying approximately 230 pounds through the course, the weight of Anspaugh at the time of the shooting. Upon finishing the course, with spectators crowded around him, Hovack explained that seeing Charlie Company at the finish line prompted him to continue on.
It's my reward too, you know, crossing the finish line and all those veterans standing there. That just is unbelievable. You know, they stuck around to wait for me to finish. But I've been there and done that for this country, and there's no way I would quit.
More than 2,000 participants ran, raising more than $50,000 for scholarships of future UCC students. Reporting from Roseburg, Oregon, I'm Army Sergeant Tiana Waite.
The Army's world-class athlete program trains soldiers who show exceptional athleticism and prepares them for competition at the highest level. One Oregon soldier's love of running keeps bringing him back to competition. This is Dan Brown, Oregon National Guardsman and Olympian.
When you have a sense that you've accomplished everything that you've ever wanted to do, you can become complacent a little bit. So for me, I think my life has always been one where I've been continuing to yearn and strive for greater achievement.
In 2004, Dan competed in the Olympics.
I was excited. You know, I think I was in the best shape of my life as an athlete. So it was a very exciting time to be running, and ultimately ended up getting 12th place at the Olympic Games in the 10,000 meters. I was a top American, so was very pleased with that.
But in 2005, his dreams of running took a wrong turn.
Well, you know, in running, you know, there's always more titles and more races to go after. So for me, my career wasn't over after the Olympics. I did go through a period of injuries, which was a little bit challenging. Had some surgeries in 2005. I, you know, experienced some of the challenges in running.
Being the ambitious man he is, Dan found a new way to run to his goals.
The last few years, I've been coaching track and field with the Army's World Class Athlete Program.
As a coach for the Army World Class Athlete Program, Dan trains soldier athletes with the ultimate goal of making it to the Olympics. And this year, at the Rio Olympics, one of his trainees, Specialist Paul Chalimo, took home the silver medal.
Yeah, it was an amazing night. It was an eventful night. You know, I consider myself a fairly competitive person and everything, and so it's fun to be involved in the sport and also to support the Army. And you know, I think that these guys are doing a lot of great things in terms of promoting the exceptionalism that's in our military force.
After a short time back with the Oregon National Guard, Dan will be leaving for Colorado after being selected to coach again. And he's bringing with him his ambition.
Set the bar pretty high by getting the silver medal, but you know, obviously there's one medal higher than that. So, yeah, that's the goal.
For the Oregon Military Department, I'm Technical Sergeant Stephen Conklin. At Camp Rylea, SURF-P members from the Oregon Army and Air National Guard gathered together for some hands-on training to perfect their search and extraction skills and techniques. Oregon's SURF-P, an emergency response team, is getting some hands-on search and extraction training at Camp Rylea near Warrenton.
Just get a familiarization with what may happen if there's an earthquake or a hurricane and we have to go into a building and have to have some patients in there or some victims in there. We have to secure the building before we can go in there and get everything out.
Instructors traveled across the country from West Virginia to provide this week-long course.
This is what we call our search and extraction basic course. The whole purpose of this course is to provide soldiers and airmen with the general knowledge necessary to perform on a disaster scene.
Throughout the week, students received rope, confined space, and structural collapse training, including building a split sole raker to prevent structures from collapsing on rescuers. But for the trainers and students alike, it's all about saving lives.
It's great. I mean, it's our job is about people, and the great thing about the SERFs and HERFs is their primary responsibility is local to them. So not only are they training to save lives, but they're training to save lives of people who matter to them. And it's nice to get to do something a little bit different in the military than the standard realm. So it's kind of neat to see the other end of the spectrum.
Thanks to the instructors from the Joint Interagency Training and Education Center,
We've got some really good instructors out here training us.
the Oregon SERF-P remains ready and well trained. For the Oregon Military Department, I'm Technical Sergeant Stephen Conklin. That's it for this episode of the Oregon National Guard Quarterly Review. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.